Hey, what's up everyone? It's made by Tim. Today I'm ranking every arc in Berserk while redrawing one of my favourite pages. One that I thought captured the Lost Children chapters perfectly and stayed with me the longest after I first saw it. Before we dive into the arcs, I want to talk about how I approach redrawing this page. I started by blocking the large shapes with a 4H pencil, just trying to place the silhouette of Guts under the tree. No detail yet, just feeling out the weight and the posture. Then I switched to a 2B pencil to define the form. The folds in a cloak, the hair, the way his head is tilted just slightly downward. I then looked at the above paneling. Trying to get such small details to look right can be really hard. So I spent a bit more time just making sure I could get a likeness of the characters. Not necessarily copying it line for line, but just making sure they had a resemblance. Once I was happy with the pencil stage, I moved on to ink. As always, I used a G-pen for the line work. Thick outlines, sharper shapes, and a Maru pen for the more delicate cross-hatching in the face, and the cloak, and the trees. As always, for the blacks, I used a small brush and the same ink, and filled in the areas around the tree and Guts' cloak. I used a grey alcohol marker to replace the greys made by screen tones. And finally, I used a liquid whiteout and a small brush just to pop out the highlights, like the rain, the little highlights on the cloak, and the highlights on the tree branches too. This whole process made me appreciate how much Miura understood restraint. It's not just about detail, it's control. Every line has weight, especially in a quiet page like this. Okay, let's get into the arcs of the Berserk manga. Starting off with the Black Swordsman arc. This arc follows Guts after the eclipse. He is now a lone warrior marked by the brand of sacrifice, hunted by demons and apostles every night. He begins his journey for revenge against Griffith and the God Hand, brutally cutting down any apostle in his path. Along the way, he reluctantly teams up with Puck, a small elf who adds light into the world. Now, what I really liked about this arc was definitely the tone setting, the amazing atmosphere that Miura creates from chapter 1. So much raw emotion, and Guts' mysterious introduction. Definitely this arc sets Berserk apart from your typical series. Now, some negatives, what I didn't like about the arc. It definitely lacks context without knowledge of the eclipse. It's short and emotionally distant on the first read. This arc throws you into Berserk with no warning. Guts is vicious, unrelenting, and clearly destroyed inside. There's no comfort here. Just rage, scars, and silence. This isn't a flashy start, it's a wound, and it sets the tone perfectly. Putting it in the B tier for now. It's short, but unforgettable. Now let's get into the Golden Age arc. This is a massive flashback that shows Guts' childhood, his time with the Band of the Hawk, his complicated relationship with Griffith and Casca, and the group's rise and fall. We see how Guts finds purpose, only to lose everything to the eclipse, a ritual that turns Griffith into Femto and sacrifices the Hawks. Now, in my opinion, I believe this is one of the best arcs in fictional media history. It has literally everything, and I loved every bit of it. Some notable things: deep character development, the emotionally devastating climax of the eclipse. I thought the pacing was amazing, and the world building was stunning as well. It just felt like, especially in the 1997 anime series, if you take out the first episode, it just felt like a typical medieval series. And then the slow tonal change and the introduction of Zod is just, it's so peak. Some minor things that I think people can get caught up on is the tonal shift from the initial horror of the Black Swordsman arc. I think can be a bit jarring, but that's all I can think about. This arc changed me. It's where you get context of where Guts was before the brand. It's about friendship, dreams, loyalty, and how all of that can be shattered. The pacing's perfect, the characters feel real. I believe Miura didn't just show pain, he made you feel it. And I think this arc is untouchable. 100% S tier. It's Berserk's masterpiece. Like I said before, one of the best arcs in all of media. After the Golden Age, we have the Conviction arc. After the eclipse, Guts sets off alone, bent on revenge, but slowly pulled into new conflicts. The Lost Children chapters show Guts battling Rosine, a young apostle with a tragic past. This mini-arc has some of the best fight chapters in the entire series. This is definitely the arc where the most epic pages come from. The rest of the arc follows Guts as he infiltrates the Tower of Conviction to rescue Casca. Entering the Holy See, fanatical inquisitors, and supernatural chaos as the boundaries between reality and the astral world begin to break down. What I liked was the rich psychological themes, not only psychological but religious as well. The art is haunting. This is definitely the arc where Miura flexes his art style. What else I liked was the sharp commentary on faith and trauma. There are some minor pacing issues in the tower sequences. I think this arc definitely cuts deeper than a lot of people give it credit for, especially in the Lost Children chapters. And Guts in this arc, he's an absolute force of nature. You get introduced to Farnese, Serpico, Mosgus as well. Everyone is so twisted in their belief. For me, the Conviction arc definitely sits firmly in the A tier. Next arc is the Millennium Falcon arc. This arc shows Guts and his new companions, Farnese, Serpico, Isidro, and Shirke, as they journey towards Elfhelm. Guts obtains the cursed Berserker armor, which gives him tremendous power at the cost of his own mind and body. Griffith returns to the physical world and leads the Neo-Band of the Hawk to conquer Midland, while the world shifts into the Fantasia realm. What I enjoyed, there's these stunning large-scale battles. Guts on the back of Zod to take out Ganishka. Really amazing battle sequences and new character dynamics, and incredible set pieces like Ganishka's transformation. For me, the scope can overwhelm the more personal tone of the earlier arcs. Some emotional beats get buried under the spectacle. This is the most epic arc in terms of scale. The art hits a new level, the fights are otherworldly, but what I love most is that Guts builds a new family. The introduction of the Berserker armor is so dope. It's not just cool, it's terrifying. It shows what happens when strength eats away at your soul. I'm gonna have to put this arc in the A tier as well. Now we move on to the Fantasia arc. Now fully inside the merged world of Fantasia, Guts and his party reach Elfhelm, a mystical island where time flows differently. Casca's fragmented mind is finally restored through a magical journey inside her own subconscious. Meanwhile, the looming threat of Griffith continues to grow, even in this supported place of safety. Some things I loved about this arc is the incredible artwork, the serene and mystical tone. Elfhelm is visually so cool, conceptually rich. It is a lot slower than the previous arcs. Definitely feels like it's lacking urgency or direction. The arc is so soft and strange, it slows things down. Guts isn't fighting every chapter, he's trying to protect, to rest, and you feel the toll all of this has taken on him. And visually, this arc might be Miura's most stunning work. It's not perfect, it drifts a little, but that dreamlike quality fits. It's a breath between storms. For me, this arc sits in the B tier. Alright, now we're getting to, I'm going to call it the post-Miura arc. So following the passing of Kentaro Miura, the story continues under the guidance of his close friend Koji Mori and Studio Gaga. In this arc, Elfhelm is destroyed, and Guts suffers a spiritual and emotional collapse as Griffith seemingly takes everything from him again. Skull Knight warns of the fate's unchangeable spiral, as Guts is left lost and defeated. For me, this arc maintains its emotional tone, builds on Miura's themes with care, and introduces powerful new emotional lows. The arc is definitely still finding its footing narratively. These chapters are hard to judge, I'll be honest. I was scared to read them. Scared they'd feel empty. But they don't. They feel grieving. Like the story itself knows it's lost its creator. Guts can't even lift his sword anymore. And watching him break again hurt more than I expected. The team is doing their best. And there are panels here that still stop me in my tracks. C tier for now, but I'm hopeful. Even Berserk's weaker arcs are stronger than most manga's best. That's the Miura standard. I chose this page for a reason. It's not flashy, it's not famous, but it says everything. Strength isn't loud, sometimes it's just holding on. Sitting in the dark, and choosing not to give up. Anyway, that's my tier list. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know how you'd rank these arcs differently. And if you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like and sub. See you in the next one.